I'm Molly Rasky, for those that don't know me. I'm the principal of this beautiful school. I'm louder than I like to be. Maybe I need to be closer, farther away, closer. Good. Thank you for coming to the Nisswa Elementary dedication. Today is the best day. It is about a gift like no other that our community gave to us and the impact this gift will have for generations. Today, we dedicate this outstanding, state-of-the-art facility to you, our Warrior community. Let us stand as we're able for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Again, I want to welcome you to this monumental event. Let us begin by taking a moment to introduce a few of those that are in front with me today. We have our Board of Education members in attendance, Chair Nelson. I'm just going to list them. Vice Chair Blacklance, we have. Board Clerk Sjogren, Board Treasurer Boyles, Director Hagelin, and Director Spear. We have Superintendent Larson, Assistant Superintendent Hahn, Jesse Zahn, who is Nisswa's City Council member, Dave Bergeron, Principal for ICS. We have Mrs. Olson, a teacher here at Nisswa Elementary School. We have Hillary Johnson, or Mrs. J as we call her, our Nisswa PTO President. We have Reed Teesey, our Director of Building and Grounds, Pam Dorian, President of the Nisswa Chamber, Kim Ellingson, our Vote Yes Committee, Allie Oyam, and Ava Betcher, two of our fourth graders. I have to say that this is quite surreal to think back at our groundbreaking ceremony in our tiny gym to where we are now. In this amazing, huge, full-size gym. We now have a 2-story addition, a true STEM room, outbreak commons areas, space to innovate, collaborate, explore, and thrive, our upgraded cafeteria, safe and secure entrances, open and bright learning spaces, locker bay areas that I find many of you in the morning time, and much more. The walls we reside in no longer restrict the way in which we are able to teach, collaborate, and learn. It facilitates it. We are so fortunate and grateful to this community. Nisswa is a community that has always demonstrated that investing in our youth is at the core of what we do. There are so many only in Nisswa experiences that our children get to experience, such as turtle races, our children's panel with the Nisswa Chamber, Halloween parades, community walks, various parades just for no reason. Because of this community, our students walk through the doors of a phenomenal building. It has taken all of us, united together, to bring us to this day. I have said many times that there is no place to live like the Brainerd Lakes area. We show up for our kids and each other. Thank you. I now invite two of our amazing fourth grade students, Allie and Ava to share some.
Thank you. Written by Mr. Coleman's 4th grade class. Thank you for the expansion. Our school feels like a mansion. The gym is twice the size as before, so we don't run into each other anymore. Now that the classrooms are done, we are able to learn and have some fun. We love our new home and hope you do too. For all that you do, we wrote this poem just for you.
Boy, have things changed around here. I remember walking through the hallways with brick walls and tile floor. Now I'm walking through the same hallways, but with tan walls, sparkly floor, and warrior wallpaper. The upstairs windows are my favorite. I love all the shades of blue scattered around the school, like in the wallpaper, cafeteria floor, and walls. Did you know you'd be sitting in the grass right now if it wasn't for the update? If you look up at the curtain, that's where the wall was. Another one of my favorite things is the kindergarten wing. I like how they made that part what it is now. I like how they have cubbies and a recess door. I love the new spacious office, and when you walk into the school, you see the high ceilings. It's so cool. Hi, I'm Ava Basher, and a 4th grade student at Nisswa Elementary. I'm so sad it's my last year here, but these 7 years were worth it.
Please welcome Chair Nelson.
Good morning, everyone. I am so excited to be here to celebrate this amazing new school. In a little bit, I'm going to tell you why I'm extra excited to be here. But before that, do you know what this week is? I bet you do. Teacher Appreciation Week, right? So let's look at all the teachers, and including the aides and all your support staff and your principal, and let's give them a big round of applause. I know the PTO is doing some pretty special stuff for them this week. So, and I wish I could give you each a hug at least. Maybe I can do that afterwards. But thank you. There's a few of you that were here. I had 2 boys go through this school 20 years ago. I'm kind of old. And the few teachers that are still here are getting a little bit older too. I see Sarah Baker and Mrs. Headley out there. Both my boys had them. So thank you, teachers and staff. Thank you for all you do for the school. It's you that actually makes the school, and I'm so happy that the community and the district was able to pass a bond to create new spaces, wonderful new spaces that were so needed. This gym is just amazing. I remember it being little and stuffing all of the people in for programs, Christmas programs, and this is just wonderful. So anyway, over the years, as I said, my 2 sons went here. It was some of my favorite times in my life, having them up here and the Halloween programs, and I ended up being on the PTA at that time. For all of the years I was here, I ended up being PTA president, and that's kind of how I got to where I am now as school board chair. That's how I started getting involved. So I think there's a current PTO president here that maybe she'll take the same track as I am. I hope she will. It's been a great experience. Back when my boys were here, what the PTA did was their main focus was programming, but also we raised money, and we raised money for, and I don't even know what they were called, but they were those old Apple computers. Remember those? And we had one room that we tried to get 30 of these little Apple, were they called Apple computers? Is that what they were called? Okay, Apple computers. And now you guys each have your own Chromebook when you need them. So that is so cool too. So anyway, I just want to say a great big thank you to all the people that made it happen. I know some of the speakers coming up are going to specify those people, but obviously ICS, the staff here, your principal, Mrs. Rasky, the community. There's a great show of support out here from the community. As always in Nisswa, they love this school too. So thank you so much, and I look forward to bringing my boys up here to get a tour of the school sometime soon too. So, oh, and the other thing, I forgot, this is my little speech. I found these as I was cleaning out some stuff in my office. And 21 years ago, and a little bit more, December 6, 2001, while I was on the PTA, we built and celebrated the Nisswa Community Children's Library, and I have the program from that. So anyway, if anyone wants to see those, I have those. That was a very fun event too. The tiles out in the hallway have many of the kids that went through here their drawings on, and what a neat school. So thank you community for your support, and I'll let the next speaker come up.
Good morning, everybody. You know, Ruth, it's funny you actually bring that back. I think I was a student here when that library opened. So, it's good memories. But on that note, it's to look back on the progress of this great school district of ours is truly something to marvel at. The collective steps that this entire community has taken to invest in its own future, for all you students here now, is a testament that will stand the test of time. To provide our children the safe, modern, and necessary infrastructure to continue to grow, to be the best version of yourselves, is a hefty call to answer. But nonetheless, it's a call that I'm incredibly proud that our city of Nisswa and its citizen rightfully answered. I once called the halls of this school my own when I was all your ages. And it's my honor to be able to be here now to represent this city today to help commemorate the great accomplishments we all have achieved together. It may seem impossible for all of you to think now, but when you look back at the times in which impacted you the most in your life, I, for one, have to look no further than the time and my experiences I had here at Nisswa Elementary. And I'm confident that that will all be the same for you. It also seems impossible for me to believe now that my own nieces and nephews roam these halls some 20 years after I did. One of them being here right now. Hi, Olivia. I encourage you all to sit back, reflect, and appreciate the work that has been done to get this school to where it is now. Appreciate and be thankful for the relentless support from this great community, this great school district. Appreciate your teachers and appreciate the lessons they provide each day. Appreciate your classmates and the memories that you will make. Show them kindness and show them support every day. Before you know it, it will be your coming of age into this world. Those next to you now will be the future doctors that save our lives, the mechanics who fix our vehicles, the construction workers who build our communities. Or, in my particular case, 20-some years ago, Mrs. Haig's son, a future NFL Super Bowl champion. Thank you, and go Nisswa.
Good morning. I'm Pam Dorian from the Nisswa Chamber, and I look at the growth of this school from a little different angle, because as Nisswa grows, we need the school to grow. We have the wonderful opportunity to work with these kids all throughout the school year and in the summer at turtle races, and we are proud to call this school home. So I just want to say thanks. When we promote the area, we promote the school, and it's nice to promote an awesome school. Thank you.
Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Dave Bergeron, and you do know today is a pretty historic day, right? Does everybody know that? Pretty historic, right? You get to be here when we dedicate and open. Even though it's been open for a couple of years and fixed, we get to dedicate it today and to thank the communities of Nisswa, Baxter, Brainerd, to allow us to be able to do all of the cool things that we've been able to do in the building. Dedications like this are great opportunities for us to get together and also thank the people who really helped make it happen. And so I want to start with, I work for a firm called ICS, and we have had the great privilege and the opportunity to work with Principal Rasky and her staff, for all the folks up here, and for folks in the audience and the contractors to help make all of this happen. It's dedications like this that we also get to thank a bunch of people who worked really hard on the project, okay? So I'm gonna name a couple people. First off was Principal Rasky. As I've told people, we could not have had a better person to help to be able to build what we have here today. I also want to thank some other folks from the district, Mr. Reed Teesey, who's been very instrumental in all of this. I know Marcy's in the back, Marcy Lord, the business manager, who kind of keeps a lid on all the financials within the district. And then Superintendent Larson, who is really the visionary of driving all the improvements across the district. From an ICS perspective, I want to acknowledge a couple folks in the back. We have Damian Williams, who is our project director, and Justin Monaga, who is the project manager. But we don't do all of that alone. We also have design professionals. And WSN, or Widseth Smith and Nolting, did the work around architectural, structural, civil, and interior design. And we do have Erica Markison in the back, and Erica was very instrumental in that. And then also want to acknowledge CMTA engineers, formerly Obernell engineers, who did the mechanical and electrical. That's why your building today is a little more comfortable, and they heat and cool the building. We also had probably 30-some plus contractors, the majority of those contractors that were right here from the Nisswa, Brainerd, or Baxter area. I'm not going to name them all, but I do want to acknowledge some of the bigger contractors involved. We had Anderson Brothers, we had Wells Concrete, High Tech Construction is a general contractor, Thielen Heating and Roofing, Wiedner Mechanical, and also Northern Glass. So thank you to all of you for making this a historic day. And thanks to the communities of Nisswa, Baxter, and Brainerd for also making this a historic project. Thanks.
Good morning. On behalf of the Nisswa Elementary School staff, I want to thank you for being here today in person, or if you're watching virtually for our school dedication. My name is Holly Olson, and I've been a staff member here since 1999. So if you do the math, that's 23 years. A long time. But as the saying goes, time sure flies when you're having fun, and oh, that saying is so true. Before the renovation and the school wasn't nearly the size it is now, a few of us changed grade levels on a more frequent basis. Well, we joke that we didn't want to be housed in every single classroom possible. That could have happened then. However, now that our school is much bigger, I know I now can't say the same. Our kids now have a full-size gym. We have a larger cafeteria. We have a STEM room, short for science, technology, engineering, and math, not to mention the big, beautiful windows all over the building, and more outlets in our classrooms. That's a big deal. I know I can speak for our staff and say we are the lucky ones to be able to work at Nisswa School. We are truly the epitome of a community-driven school. Where do you see a fire department coming to school with their sirens blaring and spraying down the school during Fire Prevention Week? as well as letting the kindergartners ride in the fire truck? How about our entire school going trick-or-treating through town for Halloween? Thank you, Nisswa merchants. Or the fourth graders going to the Nisswa Legion to see the proper disposal of flags. We love you, Nisswa Legion. And how about our very own turtle races that the Chamber puts on for us? Plus, we get a root beer float from A&W. Thank you so much. This is just a short list of what our community does for us. So thank you to our Nisswa community, businesses, Nisswa Legion, and of course our fantastic PTO for the love and support you continually show to Nisswa School. And lastly, thank you to our ISD 181 community that supported the referendum so that not only our Nisswa building could become a reality, but the rest of the district as well. Go Warriors.
You guys are doing so good. Good job. All right. Here we are, a year of finally celebrating this beautiful school, you guys. And we're celebrating again, right? We had our back to school picnic, our Julia Cook domino night, our Halloween science night, Rafferty's Pizza Challenge, Ugly Cheesecake fundraiser, my favorite, Winter Wonderland choir, and jump roping with Mr. G. And we just got to pie him in the face last week, right? That was pretty fun. Just to name a few, think of all the things we're celebrating this year. All these celebrations we now can move, grow, and discover together in this beautiful school. Because community members around us voted yes to build our new school, and not just this school, you guys, all the schools in our district. They said yes to students' education. They said yes to your future education. And they know how important our youth are. On behalf of the Nisswa PTO, we say thank you. Thank you to the members of the Vote Yes Committee who helped the school referendum. Thank you to High Tech and the many contractors in this area that built this school. May these students continue to discover, explore, learn, and push their beautiful minds. Thank you for celebrating with us, and may the whole community now enjoy this beautiful building. All right, you guys, I need your help. Fisher, you ready? Okay, you ready? On the count of 3, I want you guys to say thank you. All right, we got this? 1, 2, 3. Okay, because there's people behind me. Warrior way, you're doing great.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Reed Teesey, and I'm the Director of Buildings and Grounds for Brainerd Public Schools. That's a really long title, right? And what that means is myself and my team of custodians and maintenance workers, we take care of all of the schools across the school district. So who here knows OJ? Everybody knows OJ? OJ's the best, right? I think we all agree OJ's the best, right? Yep. Along with that, we get to be part of the day-to-day operation between our administration and our staff in the buildings and the contractors that work on our buildings to construct these amazing spaces. I'm going to tell a little story, and it's a different story than the one I used a little earlier last week. But I grew up on a farm just outside the city limits of Brainerd, and I too went to school in Brainerd. I went to Lowell Elementaries, which Mrs. Rasky is not as cool as Nisswa, I'm well aware, okay? But I was a Warrior as well. To this day, I remember walking through the halls, I remember my teachers, I remember my friends that I had in school, I remember what the playgrounds looked like, and I want to fast forward just 2.5 years ago when I started my job with the Brainerd School District. I was able to spend some time with Earl, who used to do my job before me. And we were going around to all the schools, and he was introducing me to the custodians and the principals and all the teachers. And we walked into Lowell Elementary, and it looked like a time warp. I went back to when I was in school in 1984. Everything was the same. The classrooms were the same, the doors were the same, the hallways were the same. And that's not a bad thing. It just means that we needed a lot of help to the buildings. I talked to some of my friends that went to school at Nisswa, and they said the same thing about this facility up here. I was completely blown away that the buildings looked like they did so many years ago. And that is why I believe that the people in this community and the school district voted to make such a huge change to our schools for all of you guys, the next generation of students that we have, and to provide the best space possible. One of the things that Superintendent Larson said to me when I first got here was that we're a school district, not a district of schools. And I reflect on that. I think to myself, what does that really mean? That means we're all one big team, right? And I see you guys doing this, and I think that means Warrior Way, right? That's what we all do. And I want to take a moment and reflect on how big of a team we really are. And so here's a little bit of fun facts for us. In the last 3 years, we've worked on 13 buildings. We've built and remodeled over 270 classrooms, and that does not include the special ed spaces or offices. We've constructed 11 gymnasiums, 12 cafeterias and kitchens, 1 aquatic center with 2 pools, a performing arts center, and we've touched over 1 million square feet of building space. And again, as some of us that were up here earlier talked about, we wouldn't be able to get here without the team that helped us. And so Damien and Justin, thank you. Erica from Widseth and Brady, I see, is here as well. Thank you guys. To CMTA, I know you're not all here, thank you. And ARI for the design of our furniture, thank you as well. The construction team, I'd like to call out a couple people that are here by name personally. Jeff Hansen, thank you, and Brenda Bray, thank you both from High Tech. You guys have been fantastic partners along this construction process, not only here at Nisswa, but at Baxter and the high school and every other school that you're working on for us. To Thielen, Heating and Roofing, that did the roof on here, and Design Electric, and all the other contractors that were mentioned here today, thank you. And to you kids, how many of you kids have parents that work in construction? Do you know if your moms or dads work in construction, right? There's a handful of you. Here's what I'd like you to do tonight. I'd like you to go home and say thank you to them. Thank them for all their hard work that they do every day. They might be working on a school, they might work on a hospital or a road, or even someone's house. It's something to be very proud of. This district and this school is something very amazing. In closing, Principal Rasky, and to the staff and students of Nisswa Elementary, enjoy your new facility.
Good morning, boys and girls. How are you today? Good. You have been such great participants today and listeners. It's just a treat to have you here today. My name is Lane Larson, and I'm the superintendent of Brainerd Public Schools. And it is truly a privilege for me to be here today to dedicate and have this grand opening of Nisswa Elementary School. It's clearly a really big day in the history of Brainerd Public Schools, but especially for Nisswa Elementary. This is also a very humbling time, and a time that we've waited for a long time. And so I am honored today to stand before all of you, all of our guests, our students, our staff, and all of our honored guests to have this important dedication. Today, in our blue, our white, and our gray, we are the adorned Nisswa Warriors, and we are here to celebrate this historic occasion. I want to tell you a true story. In 2016, when I was interviewing for my position, I met Mrs. Rasky for the first time. And right after I got selected to be the superintendent of schools, I called Superintendent Gross at that time and I said, will you take me around the school district someday? And will you bring me to all the buildings to see all the buildings in our school district, to meet the principals, to engage with the staff and so on? And Mr. Gross said, absolutely, that would be great. We had the most fun day. We went from school to school to school. But I'll never forget the day that I walked into Nisswa Elementary. I walked in the front doors right over by the library or the media center, and there were children in the hallways laughing and having a big time. There was student work posted all over the walls. The teachers were engaged with the kids. There were parents volunteering in the classroom. And I told Mr. Gross, man, this is really a neat place. And he said, you haven't seen anything yet. And before I knew it, around the corner comes running Mrs. Rasky. And she sees Mr. Gross and she says, Mr. Gross! And she goes up to him and she gives him a gigantic bear hug. Have you ever seen her do that? Have you ever seen her do silly things? Well, of course, she always does silly things, doesn't she? And she gave him this great big bear hug and she said, I'm so happy to see you. And when she was hugging him, she looked and she saw me and her eyes got great big because she knew that all of a sudden I was the new superintendent. And she didn't know what to expect from me. And she stopped and she puts out her hand and she shakes it and she says, hello, Mrs. Larson, I'm Mrs. Rasky, the principal. And the whole tone changed. But I knew that in that very moment that this is where I wanted to be. This is where we were meant to be. This is what high quality education looks like. Nisswa Elementary School is a home. Nisswa Elementary is a place where our students, our staff, our parents, our principals, and our district leaders, every single person in our school is one team. We are the Nisswa Warriors. And so as I look back after 6 years, I see the same things that made me the happiest. I see that we are still having fun together. And I know Mrs. Rasky still gives big bear hugs, and we all love those. I see community partnerships. I see opportunities for every single child out here that you guys get to become the best that you can be and have all kinds of experiences. I see that we're lasting friends and family, and that now, because of our generous community, we are one beautiful school district. We are the Brainerd Warriors, and we are adorned in blue, white, and gray together. This beautiful facility was all because of your parents, your grandparents, your teachers, and your friends. It was a voter-approved referendum for Nisswa Elementary School and 12 other buildings that passed on April 10th, 2018. And this project was completed in 2021, but because of that silly COVID pandemic, we weren't able to do our dedication until today. But today is the day that we celebrate. Today is the day that we recognize as the day we dedicate Nisswa Elementary School. This morning's highlights are a tangible reminder and a public display of the successes that we can achieve together when we all work together. This beautiful Nisswa Elementary School is a result of the community's unwavering commitment to providing the highest quality teaching and learning environment for each and every one of you that are in this audience today. Thank you to the thousands of people who had their hands in making Blueprint 181 campaign a reality. You never accomplish something like this without the right team at the right time. So at this time, it is my honor to invite Principal Rasky and Mr. Tisi, our Building and Grounds Director, to the front of the room, and we are going to unveil the bronze plaque that will dedicate Nisswa Elementary School, the new design of our building. Go ahead. Isn't that beautiful? This beautiful plaque, along with nostalgic professional photographs of Nisswa Elementary School in the past and the present, will hang in the foyer of Nisswa Elementary for the history of our district. It will forever mark today, May 3rd, 2022, as the day we officially dedicated our facility. None of this would have happened without the right team at the right time. And I know that some of this is repetitive, but it's really important to me that I recognize the people that made this a reality. When I call your name, will you please stand? Starting with our board chair, Ruth Nelson. Vice Chair, Charles Blacklance. Clerk, Janice Sjogren. Treasurer, Kevin Boyles. Directors, Tom Hagelin. And Director, Sarah Spear. Our board works tirelessly to make a difference in the lives of every one of our children in our district. I also want to take this time to recognize Bob Nystrom, Reed Campbell, Sue Kern, and Chris Robinson, who over the course of the past 6 years have served on the Board of Education and helped to make these important decisions. I also want to recognize today Assistant Superintendent Heidi Hahn. Will you stand and be recognized? And the next superintendent of Brainerd Schools. Principal Rasky. We all know her. Let's give her a big round of applause. Yay! Our Business Services Director in the back, Marcy Lord. Please stand. Yeah. Our Building and Grounds Director, Reed Teesey, who have worked tirelessly for hours and hours and hours. Above and beyond their regular jobs, they have put in hours and hours and hours of work. Jeff Layton in the back, I see you too. Please stand and be recognized. You've been a great partner. Awesome, thank you. I also want to take this time because we are fortunate to work with the best and the best of the best in the business. As our chair, Ruth Nelson, said, this is Teacher Appreciation Week, but today is Teacher Appreciation Day. And none of this would have happened without all of your awesome teachers, paraprofessionals, cooks, everyone who works in our buildings to make this day a reality. Please give all of your teachers a round of applause. And thank you for all of your dedication. Thanks. Mr. Teesey talked a lot about our partners in this project, our design team, ICS, Dave, Damien, Justin, thank you so much. Our partners with Widseth, Mike Englund, Tim Rammerth, Lindsay Creans, Dave Johnson, Erica Markison, thank you for your work. To CMTA, our mechanical and electrical engineers, and to ARI, and for our FF&E design with Katie Hildenbrand. And also I want to recognize as well, so many of the contractors that worked on this project were local. The majority of the project, of our Blueprint 181 project, was completed by people who live within 60 miles of our school district. So thank you to all the people who worked on our schools to make this a reality. Our teams from Anderson Brothers, Cullinex, Design Electric, Dow Acoustics, H2I, High Tech, I see you guys in the back. This is your project, be proud. Good work. Johnson Nelson Masonry, Casella Concrete, Multiple Concepts Interiors, Northern Glass and Glazing, Summit Companies, Thielen Roofing and Heating, so proud of the work that you've done, Widener Mechanical Contractors, and also we need to take time today to thank all of our guests for being here and for our wonderful community, for saying yes to this project, for saying yes to education, and saying yes to our kids. Let's give all of our guests a round of applause. And finally, this wouldn't have happened without a committee of people who led the charge to lead the Vote Yes committee. And I thank Kim Ellingson, Christy Ramler, Sarah Spear again, Janice Sjogren, and Jessica Gengel for leading that effort and making this a reality. So at this time, I'm going to close just for a little bit because we are honored today to have our first graders who have been sitting here so beautifully to sing us a song. And so under the direction of Julie Schreifels, we're going to hear a beautiful music piece from our first graders. Well, we are all thinking good thoughts today, aren't we? Let's give them one more round of applause. Awesome! So without further delay, it's time to cut the ribbon, the final step in our official Nisswa Elementary School dedication. At this time, I invite all the board members up and all of the people that spoke today during the presentation, and Assistant Superintendent Hahn, please come forward. Reed Tesey, please come forward, and Anne Marie. And we are going to be dedicating, we're going to be doing the final ribbon cutting at this time. I also want to invite Allie and Ava again because they are going to cut the ribbon. And so once, thanks. So once the ribbon is cut, the ceremony will officially be over. There will be a few final words from Mrs. Rasky. But once these gals cut the ribbon, you know that we have dedicated Nisswa Elementary School. Let's go, Warriors!
Those were huge scissors. What I said to the girls was, no one needs bangs for summer, so just be careful. That was awesome. You were awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming to this event and always showing up for our kids. We are forever grateful. Thanks for coming.